Good evening, everybody. Welcome to PatFacts. Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone's having a great week so far. Enjoying themselves. We're talking tonight about fitness. So we need to look a lot like fitness. Just fix up a couple things here. All right, guys. What we want to talk about are things we're looking to do to help us stay on track. We talked a little bit about this, about scheduling before and how to set up our schedules and our plans for kind of what was upcoming to stay on track and to help us make sure things were progressing the right way. But we want to make sure that we have a few other just kind of tips and ideas that we can kind of go through. So we're going to talk about those tonight, some different ways to help you stay on track, to help you stick with your goals, stick with your vision, to not get too sidetracked, too distracted, but at the same time, enjoy yourself and make the most of the time that you have. Hey, Nadia. Welcome, Nat. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. So we're going to talk just a few different again, tips and ideas and some suggestions that kind of go along with what we were talking about a couple weeks ago about our schedule and how to plan that in. We want to make sure, again, we have a routine, we have a plan of attack to help us stay on track, to help us keep moving forward so that we're not kind of digging ourselves out of that hole. And for a lot of you, you've been here with me for months and months now, but specifically the last couple of months, we've already talked about starting to get ready for 2022. So we want to make sure we keep that moving forward and to make sure that we're, again, staying on the right track. We're staying focused. We don't lose any of that momentum that we've already been building up. And we want to be able to keep 2022 in our thoughts and our mind kind of at the forefront while we're making some plans and decisions coming into this month and going into holiday events and trying to get shopping done and maybe traveling or anything like that. That's going to come your way. So a few strategies to get you on the right track. And then we're going to kind of give you a resource at the end of the night to give you a little more in-depth information. I've created a holiday guide for you to kind of give you some tips and ideas and suggestions of ways you can again, stay on track, keep that right foot going forward, keep that momentum going to help you be operationally fit, which is our goal, right? To be operationally fit as much as we can. So that's what we're going to cover off tonight. So I have that for you, and I have another kind of announcement, a launch, sort of mention of a program I'm going to be running, a virtual program that's going to be launching officially on Monday, but you'll be able to sign up for it starting tomorrow. So I'll give you some information about that as we go through tonight. So again, welcome everybody. Good to see you. Hope we're having fun, keeping safe. So what we want to talk about first, technology, right? Now it's good sometimes. So the first one we want to talk about, because it's sort of my main thing, is fitness. How can we keep on track with our fitness through the holiday season? So what we'd like to do is make sure that we're planning. Again, we talked about planning and scheduling before, looking ahead to what's coming up and what we need to do and what we can do in advance to make sure that we stay on track as much as we can. So things like maybe we modify our workouts a little bit. So if we're working out 4 days a week for an hour at a time, maybe we're going to go to 2 days a week for an hour. Maybe we're going to keep the 4 days, but maybe it's 30 minutes instead. There's different ways we can monitor. There's not just one set way to work out. We can look at our frequency of workouts, the intensity of them, the type that we're doing, and the time that we're spending in the workout itself. And we can play with one, if not all of those factors to make it work for us. And that's what I'm excited to do as I transition from kind of the title of personal trainer into more of wellness coach, is being able to help you work through some of these kind of roadblocks and obstacles. I'm going away for holidays, or I have to go away for work. How am I going to get my workouts in? What am I going to do? That's where I'm going to come in and give you that kind of coaching where maybe I'm not with you all the time counting reps and sets, but I'm helping you make the time for exercise, helping you work within your schedule to make sure it works for you. So that's just a quick way, again, with fitness, to think of that. Look at the frequency of it, the intensity, the time, and the type. It's called the FIT principle, FITT. And that's what I would use as a coach to prescribe you a program. I would do that. I would take into consideration your schedule and what things are going on and your fitness goals. And then I would plan your program using that principle to help you reach your goals and to make it work with your schedule, which is all part of that as well. Thanks, Natty. Yeah, wellness coach is where I'm going, because I'm getting a little more, I'm broadening my horizons. I'm not just focused on the fitness or the physical fitness. We've talked about mental wellness here on PatFacts, and within my coaching I will as well. Nutrition, sleep, stress management. Again, we're looking at overall wellness. Fitness being sort of my major focus, because that's my scope of practice. But again, offering resources and information for those other components to create an overall picture of health for you, because that's what being operationally fit is. It's not just the physical fitness. It's all aspects that we've talked about here many times. It's hard to just focus on one thing because everything is so intertwined. And if one system is off, it's going to affect the other systems and maybe drag them down a little bit. If they're all working well, they're going to bring each other up even better. So I want to take a more well-rounded approach and feel like that's my kind of next step. And I feel for a big, large group of people, that coaching and that guidance of how to fit in the workout or where to put the workout in, or that it doesn't have to be this one approach. There's so many different approaches you can take to the exercise. And again, looking at things like holiday season, work travel, vacation, different times of the year, busy times. I've mentioned before, I have a client who's a teacher, and she knows offhand when report card time is coming. So looking ahead to that time of the year when she knows she's going to be at school, maybe a little later, doing extra hours, getting reports ready. Okay, what can we do with your workouts to make sure you're consistent? It doesn't have to be 100% the same all the time, but at least consistent with your routine and your program. And that's what we want to do here, is be consistent as best we can. Maybe we modify the program, but we try to keep the consistency. Because if we stop and take a break for a week or 2 weeks while we're on Christmas vacation or away, it's harder to get going again when we get back into things. So we try to keep the consistency, even if maybe the intensity is a little less or the frequency is a little less. We can again play around with these variables to sort of at least maintain where you are as best we can, or at least minimize the drop. Because as you know, within fitness and health, if you don't use it, you lose it. So you want to, again, work on the consistency. So you're using the systems, you're going through the exercise and the movements that you need to at least kind of maintain that fitness level, or maybe reduce how far down you drop. We want to keep ourselves going forward. So again, this is part of that, is looking ahead to your time. It's the 8th of December as we record this. You probably know what your rough idea maybe of what your schedule is going to be going forward. So again, look ahead. We talked a few weeks ago about scheduling, having a meal before you head to an event, a party, so you don't go on an empty stomach and make maybe poor choices. Again, look ahead now to see what's coming up, and know, okay, I'll be on the road for a couple of days. I'll be traveling. I'll be here and there. I'll be in a few different places. It's going to be hard to get my workouts in. What can I do? Maybe I throw my fitness bands in my bag. Maybe I find a jug of water or something to use to lift and move around as resistance. Or maybe I have a small child that I can play with and toss around and toss and catch and move a bit and have a little resistance and have some family time within that. Again, there's so many different ways we can do that. It's just a matter of, again, planning, preparing, and looking ahead a little bit into those few weeks or maybe a couple months, depending on your situation, that's upcoming. So that's the first one. Again, I want to touch on is fitness, is looking at those little tweaks we can make to maintain consistency in our routine. That's sort of our goal, is the consistency, so that we can get through the time and come back to our regular routine without being, again, in the negative. We didn't lose too much because we were taking some time off. Very nice. Natty says very important to include all aspects of life, for sure. We need that, even financial, relationship-wise, health, nutrition, mental health, physical health, sleep, recovery, mobility, flexibility. All these systems we need to kind of work on to, again, provide that well-rounded picture of health as best we can. We're not going to be perfect, but we try to get into that maybe 80-20 rule or so and do the best we can. For sure, yeah. And Nat says the seasonal affective disorder can change your motivation for sure. The weather and the climate and the things going on can make a big difference in your motivation and even just your activities maybe that you take part in. If it's not summertime, maybe you're not getting out for walks and runs as much as you were before, or maybe the runs have become walks because maybe it's not safe to go out running where you are because of icy conditions and things like that. And it's dark sooner. It's dark when we wake up. It's dark when we get home from work for some of us maybe. So it's hard again to get that motivation to be alert and ready to kind of aware and that have that high energy and motivation to be able to go forward and continue with that routine. So that could even be where you plan maybe back in the fall, look ahead to the winter, know when the time changes, that's going to make it darker sooner. So that's going to affect the daylight time I have to get my workout in. Maybe you have to look at a midday workout or finding time before or after work, or maybe doing things inside. If you do maybe, I don't know, an on-demand workout program with your favorite wellness coach. Just saying, just an example, hypothetical. Or again, that fitness coaching where maybe you're doing a little more independent work, but you have guidance and accountability and motivation from that. Maybe again, it's the time you take the clothes off your indoor bicycle or your exercise machine and blow the dust off and get some reps in with that. And again, maybe that's where I can help you and give you a routine and some ideas of how to use that equipment and that apparatus to your advantage. Again, making the most of your time. And that's what I want to look at, is making it part of your life. It shouldn't be a chore to work out. It shouldn't be a chore to fit any of these things in. We just want it to be part of our everyday life. And that's where a coach can come in. Again, any kind of coach, a life coach, a financial coach, they'll help you make that aspect just kind of a regular part of your life. But they'll work you through that to get you to a certain point. But again, keep that sort of thing in mind. If you don't like cold weather, if you're bothered by it just being dark so often and don't have that motivation, then again, you need to maybe look at what it is you're doing, maybe tweak the workouts for the winter. And then when spring, summer come back next year, things thaw out and it's a little lighter, then again, maybe you tweak back to that kind of outdoor sort of curriculum of exercise. That's your thing. Even physical activity can go down. If we're outside in the summer, where maybe we're gardening, we're doing yard work or whatever. Now you're probably just shoveling and clearing the snow off your car as your physical activity. So you may not be as active as you were. That's why a lot of us maybe put on a couple pounds in the winter. The activity goes down, maybe the exercise goes down or changes, and then that's when we're still eating the same, and that's when we can maybe put a little of that winter weight that we put on, that hibernation weight, and then we have to kind of work to get it off in the spring. Again, ideally, we'd modify our winter to try to maintain a healthy weight, wherever that is for you, and that ideal sort of lifestyle, making the best choices we can. And then again, we don't have to dig ourselves out of that hole come springtime, because that can get us down that rabbit hole too of, oh, there I go again, putting weight back on, or I didn't exercise through the winter, and that negative talk can come in. When really we can just try to maintain best we can, and then just hit the ground running once it's thawed out in the spring. So again, different aspects to take into, and that seasonal affective disorder, again, it's a bit of a sort of a mental health sort of issue where it does affect us and change our mood. So we have to find ways to work through that. Again, having a plan, having a strategy, and a procedure will help us with that, because we'll know to expect it. It doesn't usually surprise us unless it's maybe something new you've developed. But typically we know to expect it because of the time change and the seasons. We know what's to come. So again, we plan ahead for it. We can maybe, if nothing else, minimize the effect it has on us. And that's what we'd like to do. Exercise can be preventative. It can minimize the effect of certain things have on us. Hopefully prevent some of the effects that aging and things have on us. But there's certain things we can't prevent, but we can at least slow down or diminish the effect they have on us. So fitness, that's the thing. Look at modifying it to stay consistent. Thinking of your nutrition, we've talked also about that sort of 80-20 rule. Anytime, but especially right now, there's going to be different things out there, different temptations, different suggestions of things to have, things that are just out and about for you to maybe nibble on or snack on or have that maybe aren't around typically because people are entertaining, especially after last year, not being able to see many people. People now are maybe putting a little extra effort behind it because it's been maybe a couple of years since they've seen some people. So they want to make sure they get all the bells and whistles out. So again, do what you can. Make the best choice as possible out of that kind of 80% of the time. And then 20% of the time, if you treat yourself a little bit, have a little bit of fun, have some treats, have some cheesecake, whatever, it's not so bad because you do the best you can the majority of the time. And that's what we're going to look for. Again, anytime, but it's a little harder now because there's maybe more temptations there. There's more things around you. Maybe there's more events where some of those things are present, and maybe you can't choose what to eat. Maybe you go somewhere and the meal's provided. We cooked for everybody. Here's the food, or here's the snacks for this event. Here's what we have. Maybe you can't change. You can't always choose what's there, but you make the best choice possible. Yes, Nat says, do not eat the whole cheesecake. Yeah, that's probably a good choice. Just eat 20% of the cheesecake. Leave 80% for everybody else. But no, have some cheesecake. Enjoy yourself. But again, make good choices. Don't eat the whole cheesecake maybe in one sitting. That's probably a little overindulgence and will put you back a little bit. And as we mentioned on the scheduling episode as well, maybe have some food before you go to these holiday parties and events and gatherings, so you don't go on an empty stomach, so you don't you're not tempted to make those poor choices because you're not craving things. You feel full. Remember, drink lots of water throughout the day as well, so you feel hydrated. That helps you feel full as well. So yeah, maybe you don't get there and binge on food and make those poor choices. Maybe you're more likely to choose some of the healthier options, or at least a mix of healthy and some treats. And again, maybe you don't overdo it because you feel full. Or just feel comfortable and kind of adequately full, like nourished is the word I'm trying to think of. A lot of times we'll go to these events and not eat all day so that we can really enjoy ourselves when we get there. But again, we make poor choices typically and overdo it a little bit, and then that can maybe set us off track for a couple of days because the energy won't be there, and or we get down on ourselves for overdoing it and not maybe sticking to the plan. So again, a few different things to keep in mind there with that. So having a little snack or meals before, drink lots of water throughout the day to stay hydrated, and make sure if you're having a cocktail or two, try to intermix some water with that as well. So they typically recommend if you have a drink, have a glass of water after and kind of go back and forth. That we stay hydrated so you don't feel the effects of the alcohol the next day. And again, it helps you feel full. So maybe we don't have as many drinks, but then also we don't snack as much and nibble on things. Because typically if we have a few drinks, then we get into the snacks and the unhealthy treats or the after party kind of snacks we get into. And then that can lead us into a little bit of trouble. So trying to have a little bit of water throughout the day as always. We always want to drink lots of water and stay hydrated. But at those events, drinking water where you can, in between the alcoholic drinks if you can, or maybe with meals and things as well. Try to make those choices where you can. Maybe order a drink and a glass of water and just kind of sip back and forth. To again, just set yourself up for success as best you can. We're not saying don't go and don't have drinks ever, but again, be smart about it. Do the best that you can. All that talking about water made me thirsty. So stress management is another topic we want to cover because it can be a stressful time for people. So we just want to manage it as best we can. So looking back at the first couple things we talked about, our fitness, we want to keep our fitness or at least physical activity consistent. That's going to help our stress management. That's going to help keep us out of, you've heard me say, out of that red zone, of that high level stress alert zone, so that we have some buffer room. So if something happens, we don't get triggered. We don't go off the deep end so quickly, or we can at least respond to it and handle it in an appropriate way. So our fitness will help with that. Sleep is a big part of that. That's going to be another topic as well. We want to get our sleep, get our rest, help the body, the mind recover so that again, we're a little calmer, we're de-stressed about things. We talked a couple weeks ago about maybe before bed or in the middle of the night, having some paper close by and doing that brain dump, getting all the thoughts and ideas out of your head before bed so that the mind knows, okay, they're here on paper. I don't have to think about them and remember them. They're here. I'll see them in the morning. So again, it brings things down. It mellows it out a little bit. It takes it out of red alert zone. So again, you can get that good night's sleep. Things like meditation, some relaxation, some breath work any of those things are again good for your stress management and also your sleep pattern. So you get that good night's sleep, which will help your stress management. But again, look at things that work for you as far as stress management. Again, for me, I like listening to music, put my headphones on, listen to some good songs. It just helps me relax and unwind. I can just kind of get lost in the music a bit. Hanging out with friends is a good way to de-stress, share a laugh. Again, reading sometimes because it takes you elsewhere. Reading a good fiction novel or something, or some kind of novel you like. Again, you get into that using that imagination side of your brain, which is so important. And by doing so, it kind of distracts you again from the outside world because you really get lost in that good book. So again, it brings that stress level down a little bit. Podcasts as well. Yes, Nat says podcast. It's a good as well. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Again, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I have a kind of a mix of kind of professional development or educational kind of podcasts. And I have some that are more just fun, more entertainment, where it's either a comedian talking or an athlete maybe interviewing other athletes, or a few different of those shows. So I try to mix it up a little bit where I can. I go a little heavier on the professional development side, but I do try to put something on that's sometimes much more entertaining that I can listen to maybe if I'm doing things around the house, or just going for a drive and just want to take a break from things and get that escape. So podcasts, audiobooks are great as well. Different way to take in the content. But again, maybe have it more readily available. You can listen to it in the car while you're driving. So again, make use of your commute time. Nature sounds or meditation, breathing exercises are great to sleep to. Again, there's different apps we've talked about as well in previous episodes that you can use that will guide you through meditation, or just play white noise or nature sounds, or just peaceful sounds that maybe will help you to fall asleep, because you can just listen to that steady kind of rhythm of the sound, and it helps you again, kind of that rhythmic sort of sound puts you at ease, helps you get to sleep and get that good rest. So, and again, exercise, whether it's kind of an intense workout or maybe something light intensity, like a stretch or yoga, Pilates, maybe again, it's just going for a nice walk, doing some foam rolling, something like that, that can let the body sort of unwind and get that tension out of the body, so that it can relax, it can recover, and it can regenerate as it needs to. And again, what we want to do is keep us, say this is that red zone, high level alert. We'd like to be down probably in a green zone, but if nothing else, maybe even yellow. So at least there's some buffer zone there, so that if something does happen, you're not just going to immediately boil over and blow a gasket. You've got some room there to make good decisions and handle whatever it is that happens to come up. So again, this is all kind of preventative and trying to manage things as best we can. We may not totally prevent some sort of mental stress or strain coming in, but maybe we can diminish the effect it has on you, or diminish the severity of it. And that's good. That's better than having something severe go on to deal with. If we can dial it down a little bit, then again, that helps us have more success and have a little more of a buffer room to get through. Nani says, how do you feel about sunlights? I haven't looked into them. People that use them really enjoy them and feel that they help. They kind of give you that early exposure, or that idea that you're in the sun, even though it's darker, to help with that seasonal affective disorder that we talked about earlier. I personally haven't used them and tried them myself, but I've heard people that use them really enjoy them. So one of those things where you kind of do your research, look into it, and see if it's something that's right for you. If it's something that you deal with, then it might be something that could help. But again, let me know too if there's something you want us to look a little deeper into. Maybe that's a topic I could touch on in a future episode, because maybe there's others out there that are asking as well. And on the reverse side of that, the blue light glasses you can get, the lenses, or even some of the screens now can give you that cover to help reduce the exposure to the blue light that we get from our screens all the time. So things like that will help you get to sleep sooner, because the blue light actually affects us. It tricks the body into thinking that we're in daylight or sunlight. So it slows down the sleep process. So people like that, some people will put those on in the evening for the last couple of hours before bed, to make sure they kind of reduce the exposure a little bit. And then they can kind of move forward from there. So looking at both ends of that, the sun lamp kind of mimicking daylight and UV rays to help our body kind of wake up and feel like it's part of that day and have the energy and motivation. And then the blue light blockers that help reduce some of the exposure to help the body get into that relaxed state, that sleep phase, a little sooner, and get in there and get that good quality of sleep. Because you may be sleeping, but there's been research that shows the blue light exposure can affect the quality of sleep that we get. Even though maybe we're sleeping all night, it's not as deep and as peaceful as we want it to be because of that exposure, and it sort of just messing with our system and making our body think that, oh, there's still daylight, so I need to produce the hormones that give me energy and help me do things, not the hormones that help me sleep and rest and recover. So again, and that's all part of working with a coach and having a plan in place as well, looking at what it is you need to do to help kickstart that sleep routine, but also kickstart that wake up and morning routine on the other side of things, or that energy routine. And again, looking at different times of year, different locations, different resources as well. So different things we can look at. So with the stress minute, the travel is another topic I want to talk on quick. The big thing, if you're changing time zones, they can take, I believe it's I've meant to look this up. There's a few days per hour that it takes you to recover from changing time zones. So if you're doing a lot of travel and you're changing time zones, multiple time zones, it's going to take you, I think it's a week per hour, maybe 4 days per hour. I apologize, I didn't dig it up for sure, but there is some time that it takes for you to accommodate to the time change that you go through. That's why if you notice a few weeks ago when we fell back time-wise, maybe you felt sluggish for a few days after that, because even though maybe we gained an hour's sleep, it got darker sooner, we slept longer than maybe we usually did that night. Maybe we stayed up too late because we thought, oh, we got an extra hour, we'll take advantage of it. But it takes you a few days to adjust from that. A couple things you can do, again, stay consistent with your routine. So if you're exercising things, when you get to where you're going, get a workout in. When you get to where you're going, another great tip I heard from my mentor, Peter Twist, and Todd Durkin, both who travel quite a bit for fitness presentations and work, is to not think about what time it is at home. We usually get into that, oh, it's 6 o'clock here, so it's back home, it's 3 o'clock, and then our mind's trying to go back and forth. And they said, just be where you're at, which you've said before. If it's 3 o'clock, it's 3 o'clock. If it's 6 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock. Just get right into that time zone. Don't leave your watch set for home. Just set it where you're at so that you're in that zone already, and your mind sees that and kind of gets you into that routine. And then try to get to bed at bedtime as best you can. Get that good workout in, live the day as if you would normally as best you can, and then get a good night's sleep to get you back into that routine. It's just a couple of tips there. And keep it in mind too, if you're traveling and are changing time zones, or maybe your sleep routine is off, again, maybe that's a chance to look at that fitness routine and make those tweaks and adjustments. Maybe the frequency or the intensity, should come down a bit because the rest isn't there like it usually is. If you know you're going to lose a little bit of sleep because of travel or schedules or being away, then if we're tired and not rested, the intensity could impact us negatively. Maybe there's a higher risk we injure ourselves. So maybe we bring down that intensity a little bit for that little bit of time. We still get our workouts in, but again, the intensity maybe changes to make sure that we're extra safe and careful and get the most effectiveness out of the workout, but again, also reduce that chance of injury. So hopefully those are some good tips for you to help you, again, have an idea of things to keep in mind going through into the workout, into the holiday season, and where we're headed. So what I wanted to do, again, is just let you know about a couple things I have going on here. So I'm going to bring it up for you. One sec. The first one, as I mentioned, is a holiday guide. So basically, it's just a PDF that gives you a little more in-depth information to what we just sort of covered here. Here we go. So again, it gives you some ideas of things you can do to, again, stay on track, to stay consistent, to keep you hopefully motivated with what it is you're looking to accomplish and maintain over this holiday season with that. So let's see here. Sorry guys, get that in. 2021, the Holiday Survival Guide. We dubbed it. I wrote this a couple years ago. I've tweaked it and updated it since then. But again, it's kind of a little more in depth of what we just talked about, as far as having some plans in place and some strategies, so that we can have this consistency in our routines, and again, enjoy ourselves, make the most of the time, but keep ourselves on track for our goals and whatever those happen to be. So that's an option for you as well, that holiday guide. Again, you'll see that on my socials, on Facebook and on Instagram, so at POYBFit. If you're not following me on those, you probably are if you're seeing me on here, but if not, it'll be posted on those channels. Twitter as well, same thing, at POYBFit. There'll be a link there you can click, and I'll email you the PDF of the holiday guide. It's about 8 pages, I believe, with just some different tips and ways to help you get through it and help you stay consistent as best you can through the holiday season. And some of it will even, like we said, transfer into when you're maybe traveling. If you're just traveling for work, at other times, some of those tips will work for you as well. So you can incorporate those in the different times of year. It just doesn't have to be for the holiday season. That's just kind of what we focus on with that. So just bring that up. So again, at POYBFit, like Pat on Your Back Fitness, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Those are my social medias there. It'll be posted on all those, where you can, again, click the link and then I'll email it to you, so you can have that to go on. And the other thing we wanted to mention, another program I have, again, this the holiday guide is free for you. You could just, again, send me your email and I'll get it off to you, no problem. And then the other thing I wanted to touch base on, I'm pretty excited with this. I've been wanting to do this for a while. In person was sort of the intent, but with the way things change and the approach I'm taking and some of the programs I'm using, I found that I could do it virtually, which again, I think I'm excited for, because it'll help me reach more people, make more of an impact, help more people become operationally fit. So the other program I wanted to a 6-week fitness program to help you get ready for the ski hills, skiing, snowboarding. Some of it would even work for snowshoeing and just no activity, but skiing and snowboarding are sort of the main type of activities we had looking at there. So that's what we had sort of looked for with those. So that'll be launching it'll be starting on Monday. For you, there is a fee for this one. You can get more info. Again, check my socials. I'll have some information there and some links to follow for some more information. But basically, it's a 6-week program to help you get ready for the ski hill, and also to be able to have a better season on the hill. So even if you've already been skiing a little bit, which I know some of the hills opened, I believe last week, or we're supposed to here in Ontario, a couple of them were, it helps you to get into that routine, helps you get a little more out of the skiing, and helps you feel a little more, feel better after whatever it is you're doing as far as the ski season goes, so that you can make the most of it. And again, maybe not take away from your other experiences, your other activities and work and things. So we don't want you to be stuck in bed for a couple of days because you did some skiing on the weekend, because you're sore. You want to be able to enjoy that activity and then get back to the other activities you have to do as well. So we do have that. Again, it'll be launching later this week through socials to sign up for it, to register, and then it'll be launched on Monday. It'll be released on Monday. First time through, we'll probably do it a week at a time, so that I can just double check and make sure everything is working the way we want to, and have the exercises and uploads that we can. But then eventually it'll turn into just a big sort of big release where you'll have all 6 weeks to go through. But again, for the first time, I just want to I'll probably do it a week at a time or a couple weeks at a time, so that you're following along. It'll be interactive. It'll be within an app called Trainerize. So interactive exercises plus a bit of a PDF to follow along through. And to, again, show you warm-ups, show you cool downs, and give you some exercises to do to build yourself up for the ski season, the snowboard season, so that you can have strong core, your legs are ready for that loading phase that's going to happen from the run, so you can get more runs in at the hill without burning out. You can recover faster, so you can get back to the hill sooner and or back to those activities that you like to do every day. So again, you can check those out. And again, the holiday survival guide will be launching later tonight or tomorrow, where again, that's a free guide you can get and have it as a resource. And then the Slope Fit will again be there as a registered program, a virtual program. So again, you can fit it within your schedule where you need to. Make it work for you. Maybe you make your ski schedule to get in your training. It could just be a few workouts a week, just again to build the muscles up, get them ready for the hill, to get them ready for the stress they're about to take in. Probably haven't been skiing since last year, so those different muscles are gonna work then that maybe you've been using all summer. So we want to work them up a little bit, get that mobility in them, get them ready for some of the stresses they're going to take on, so that again we can continue our day being operationally fit. We're going to add skiing to our routine. We want to train for that and get ready for that, almost like a little training camp as best we can to go through. So again, stay tuned to the socials here, POYB Fit, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. That'll all be there. And I'll talk about it as we go through. And here in other weeks, I'll post links as they come up in the comments and stuff as well. People want to have more information. So if you're interested, or if you know someone who maybe benefit from the Slope Fit or the holiday guide, share this with them. Share the links when they come out. Share this video with them so they can see a bit about me and what's going on. Feel free to share that around. I appreciate any sharing of the content you guys could provide. If it's not for you, hopefully it's for some of you. But if not, if you know someone that's a good fit for, then maybe this is something you could share with them. Either this video again, or the links are coming soon, or again maybe it's a good Christmas present for them. A little ski conditioning program, and again we do have the online virtual coaching and the on-demand fitness workouts programs coming soon, with kind of getting back to the virtual fit side of things, but having two separate components: the wellness coaching, and the on-demand workouts like we were doing before. That'll be through Patreon, I believe, having a membership-based system. So lots of things to come down the pipe. But Holiday Survival Guide and Slope Fit are the two programs we're getting going this week. So again, stay tuned for that information. More info will be on the links for Slope Fit, and again, the holiday guide. It'll be a click link, and I'll email the PDF right to you. Then you've got it. You can print it off. You can keep it on your device to take it with you. It's a PDF, so it should work for any device. You can have it with you, and again, have those reminders, have those tips, or put those strategies into play to have a wonderful and merry Fitmas. And that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks so much for being here. As always, I appreciate your support and interaction. Great to have you here. Again, reach out if you have any questions. If you have any topics you'd like us to cover on a future episode of PatFacts, in the comments here, or send me a DM on social media. We can definitely do our best to bring you that information. And if it's something I'm not within the scope of practice to talk about, then again, I have a large network that I can hopefully bring someone in to talk about it and cover that for you as well. So, and again, we want to evolve PatFacts to a podcast, and some big things coming in 2022. So stay tuned for all that. Have a great night, everybody. Remember, always make yourself the priority you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Have a great night, guys.